Oh, for the love that all is good, my friends. They're not going to cut your Social Security benefits. Uh, just listen to a guy on Morningstar, Christine Benz, and some other guys interviewing some guy who I actually enjoyed the video, the podcast. I'll forward it if I can think about it. I'll forward it along here, or I'll share it with you. I like this guy, my man Carson from. He was an economist. He used to work for the Federal Reserve, I think he said, in Atlanta, and then he worked for 10 years with a bank, and then he retired early. Anyway, so he fired financial independence, retire early, and he's got a kid. He's on he's on a health share for health insurance. What about health insurance? And it's basically essentially a high deductible PPO, low premiums but high deductible. That's, in my opinion, if you're not in bad shape, that's what you should do. Of course, if you have pre-existing conditions, the nice thing about Obamacare is you can jump right on without having to be underwritten like a Medigap policy. There are some states where Medicare supplemental policies, you don't have to be underwritten, and that's why those states are expensive. Anyway, so my man, he basically said if you're 55, you're home free, you're not going to have benefits cut most likely. He's just speculating. He's not saying he knows this. But he says if you're younger, there could be a formula where they say for every year below 55, you'll get X amount of dollars cut from your Social Security. Folks, it's just not going to happen. So frustrating. The idea, there's a politician out there who's going to say, we're going to cut your Social Security benefit, is just pure malarkey. Remember Biden? No more malarkey. That was his campaign strategy initially. The fact that his campaign team even said that as a campaign slogan showed you that certainly the most popular vote getter ever. My vote counted, just didn't count for who I voted for here in Fulton County, Georgia. Anyway, so going back to Social Security. There's not one guy, politician out there. There's not one blue ribbon committee that's going to say, hey, we need to cut Social Security from a guy who's 57 years old. It's not going to happen. Or we need to raise the retirement age for a lady who's 59 years old. Not going to happen. And frankly, I don't even care that my generation, the baby bust and Gen X, doesn't have the voting power as the baby boomers. They're not going to cut our Social Security. Not going to happen. Well, that's a lot of faith in politicians, Josh. You don't know how politics works. I'm just telling you. Trust me, I do. Politics is like water, like electricity. The path of least resistance, my friends. The path of least resistance. So, as an FYI, speaking of politics, if you ever want to get your opinion voiced and heard for your political office, so you got a state senator, just use that. Forwarding a email, a survey from the NRA doesn't do crap because it takes no time. You know what does crap? A handwritten letter, typed, handwritten, whatever, something sent. That will get the politician's attention. Forwarding the Sierra Club's email says, we need to ban fossil fuels. That doesn't mean crap, man. That doesn't mean crap. Phone calls, but even more importantly, a personalized letter that you yourself concoct. Dear Congressman McBath, because that's my Congress lady right now. You, my friend, are a clown by supporting the $50 billion to you know where, which I'm afraid to say on YouTube or else they'll ban me for life. Please reconsider, as we have lots of people in America are still hurting. Oh, by the way, we don't have the money for that too. Signed, Josh Scanlon, Virginia, Milton. No, she doesn't care about me anymore because she's been gerrymandered out of my district, thankfully. I didn't ever like that chick. Running for office on the death of your son. It's kind of like Carolyn McCarthy, I think is her name, up in New York. Her husband was killed under the Long Island. Remember Colin Ferguson? You probably don't, because there's no blacks that kill random people. He did. He was a murderer on the Long Island Expressway, if memory serves, or Long Island Railroad, I think, back in '94, something like that. Killed a whole bunch of people. Carolyn McCarthy, I think that's her last name. Her husband died on that commuter train. And just like Lucy McBath, they ran on that tragedy. I get it. But initially, I get it. But Lucy McBath, her commercials down here, just sitting at the grave, it's freaking disgusting, dudes. I get it initially. I get that. You're like, dude, I'm so pissed. I'd do it too. Say, man, I'm so pissed off. I want a freaking rifle behind every blade of grass. And these people that are trying to take away your firearms, that's what allowed to gun-free zones be shot up. I get it. But once you're in office, you don't run on that over and over again. You should see her freaking ads. It's just disgusting. Clown Central. And yeah, there she is, just like the squad. 50 billion, we have the money, and we should do it. Like my man said, what's the carbon footprint of that war against Putin? But anyway, so there's no political will at all to do anything with Social Security. Now again, will they take it away from Bill Gates? Maybe. I highly suspect they won't. That go against everything FDR stood for when it came to Social Security, but let's just say they do that. Oh well, are you Bill Gates? No. Will they take it away from Joe the plumber? No, they won't. There's just, come on. And then I hear people too, I'm not gonna use Social Security in my retirement planning projections. I just don't get that, man. That's just, look, you gotta do what you gotta do. But all right, if you want to keep working, by all means, don't use Social Security retirement plan projections. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Because it's not a welfare transfer payment, it is an entitlement. You are entitled to it because you paid into it. They're not going to take it away from you, man. Now, will your grandkids have a different system? Probably. And they'll have to work around that. They're not going to have some blue ribbon committee to say to Joe the plumber, who's 53 years old, oh yeah, sorry man, you lived under the rules up until you're 53, but now we're going to change the rules. They're just not going to do. Look, there's this. Politicians' number one job is to get reelected. That's it. They're not going to take the risk of pissing people off. The Republicans aren't going to do it. Even though I get, what do you think about Rick Scott's plan to reduce Social Security? Oh, good night. That stuff drives me insane when people do this. I'm like, dude, are you the rookie league? Every 2 years, the Democrats trot this out. Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, Rick Scott, Trump, Bush, the whole thing. Did they reduce Social Security and Medicare? No. What did Bush do? He expanded Medicare with Part D. Can you stop, for heaven's sake, this crap? The Democrats, they're not going to do it because the Democrats, that is their key issue since basically, hell, I think it was after FDR, Truman was running on that, saying they're going to get rid of your Social Security. It's crazy. Anyway, not using Social Security as part of your retirement projections doesn't make any sense. They're not getting rid of it. I mean, look, you can do it. All right, well, then don't gripe that you got to work 10 more years, man. That's what it's going to put you. Say, oh man, it sucks for you. You got to work another 10 years. Like, why? Oh, because I'm not working. I'm not using Social Security. All right. I hope you don't have a crap deal job. All right, love to hear your thoughts. We'll see ya.